exactly where I'm going with the next line of questioning. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
But it also raised the possibility that being insulin resistant, which results in elevated serum insulin because the pancreas has to generate more insulin if your liver and muscle and fat cells are failing to respond to insulin, then more insulin has to be made in order to bring glucose back down. So insulin resistance is pretty much a silent disease because you don't really know it. If you go for an overnight fasting glucose measurement in the urine, your glucose is okay. But if you do a glucose tolerance test, which very few people do, you realize that the glucose goes up much higher, takes longer to come back down, and the insulin level is much, much higher than normal during that process of adapting. So that's how insulin resistance is defined. But I realized that high level of insulin, if we add it to our cells in culture, cancer cells in culture, it makes them grow better. And we've known that since the 1960s and 70s. We use fetal calf serum to make our cancer cells grow in culture. And if fetal calf serum doesn't work, we either order another batch, another lot from the company, or we just add insulin. And adding insulin always makes it work again. And so we've known for a long time that if you have high levels of insulin, you can make almost any cancer cell grow better than just pure fetal calf serum, which already has some insulin, and it's variable from batch to batch. So in a way, it's been staring us in the face for years that insulin will drive the growth of cancer cells. And cancer cells tend to have more insulin receptor than the tissue from which they emerged. So in the process of tumors growing out, evolving, they turn up the expression of the insulin receptor, and that allows them to respond to insulin better. So as I kept seeing more and more data on this over the last 15 years or so, I became convinced that the act of being insulin resistant, or the state of being insulin resistant in humans, sets them up to accelerate tumor growth.